Former Tottenham favourite Victor Wanyama is backing Roberto De Zerbi to not only save his old side from relegation but turn them into a competitive force once again. Wanyama announced his retirement from football on Friday to focus on a coaching career and says he has followed De Zerbi since the Italian's days at Sassuolo. "I have studied him closely. Everywhere he has gone he has improved teams," says Wanyama. "I've long admired De Zerbi since I noticed what he was doing with Sassuolo. Look at Shakhtar, Brighton and Marseille. He changes sides, he molds them so they're not just survivors, they're competitors. I firmly believe he is the right man for Tottenham. He can keep them up, 100%. He may need to compromise principles at first, but he is very experienced. He knows what is missing and what is necessary." How Tottenham could do with a midfield enforcer in Wanyama's mold today. The 34-year-old had a big impact on Mauricio Pochettino's side during his time at the Old White Hart Lane until injuring his knee in a pre-season friendly at Wembley and aggravating it against Chelsea weeks later. The initial cartilage damage and bone bruising ruled him out for 4 months, and his physical style meant he had to manage the wear and tear throughout his career. It's been difficult for the coaches at Tottenham this season because of the amount of injuries they have had. They have had 10 to 15 players out at different times, and that certainly didn't help, says Wanyama. The club has tried different approaches, but it's tough when you don't have all the squad back together. If they can get Kudus, Maddison and Bentancur back, they can play a big part in turning it around. Also getting Solanke back into a rhythm. It will make them much more solid as a unit when they have that threat. Wanyama was in London to see Spurs lose to Liverpool in December, but will throw his support behind them again as he plans to take in more games as the season reaches its nail-biting finale for supporters. He regards his time at Spurs among the fondest of his career. Although a highlight remains becoming the first Kenyan to score in the Champions League, when he netted for Celtic in a famous win over Barcelona, he pinpoints making the final in Madrid with Pochettino's side and scoring one of the last goals at White Hart Lane as career highlights, as well as forming a great bond playing alongside another former Spurs favourite, Moussa Dembele. I still keep in touch with some of the medical staff at Spurs and people who work in the offices, says Wanyama from his home in Nairobi. Hopefully, it'll be over for the Brighton game to support them. Next for Wanyama is his own coaching career. The attrition on his knee had meant, between games, his last few seasons at Montreal and Dunfermline Athletic were punctuated with remedies of ice treatment, rest and anti-inflammatories. I've been managing it for some time and it was time to walk away, not to stress anymore. I had to go through a lot of pain over the years because of the position I play and how I like to play with physicality. Now I can't wait to learn. Wanyama completed his UEFA B badge last year in Northern Ireland, doing his course alongside the likes of former Arsenal keeper Vito Mannone, ex-Sheffield Wednesday stopper David Stockdale and Josh Hoijveldt, the former Southampton centre-back. He's working towards his A badge and has already spoken to clubs in London as he looks to break through as a coach at academy level first. I have my foundation here in Nairobi where I still work with young people and I am training every day. I see working with the younger generation as the initial way forward for me, then we will see. My dream is to coach in Europe. That has to be my goal. Maybe Spurs will welcome Wanyama's return to the touchline sooner than they think. and at least he is convinced that if that day comes, they will be in the Premier League.